here live at the Tulsa Police press conference discussing the death of Ollie Brooks. Just checking my levels. Looks good. Open up the chat. Okay.
Well, first, thank you all so much for coming. Taking the time out of your day to come out here. Just a couple of ground rules. There's going to be, if I say I can answer a question, I'm legally prohibited from answering that question. There's not going to be very many like that, but there could be some come up that I'm not going to be able to answer that question. Some of it, try to remember, investigations are not instantaneous. I can't control what other agencies do or other entities. So if I say that part of the investigation is not completed, that's because it's beyond my control. This is obviously about Mr. Ollie Brooks, Sr. And the first thing I want to say is we've already expressed, the officers at the scene expressed their condolences to Ollie Brooks, Jr. But I want to express them again to the family. We're sorry for your loss. Officers were in the area of 11th and Garnett on special assignment. As you all know, you cover the news, you know the troubles we've had in a lot of different hotels and areas. And we're trying to serve warrants out there. We're trying to get curtail some of the drug usage out there. Most of the problem we're having in the hotels are people renting the rooms to either do drugs or sell drugs. And so we're focusing a lot of attention out there to try to stop some of the violent crime and some of the robberies and some of the other things. Anyway, officers went out on the night of May 28th at about around 6:20 p.m. They checked out on the radio. They had looked at several of the registers and hotels and compared those with a warrants list to see if there was anybody that had a warrant. At the Super 8 hotel, they found 2 rooms with warrants. They went to one room. There was no answer at the door. They did not go down to serve a warrant. They went to the second room, which was Mr. Brooks' room. They knocked on the door. He answered. He questioned whether it was the police several times. Then he looked out the window, saw everybody there was uniformed officers. He saw them and said, "Well, I guess you are the police." He opened the door. When he opened the door, the officers recognized him for sure as being the person that was warranted. He had a misdemeanor warrant out of Tulsa. I don't know where the information has come from that we were serving a warrant out of Oklahoma. We were not. We were serving a local TV or Tulsa municipal warrant. At that time, they could also see a crack pipe sitting on a dresser right there. They told him he was under arrest. At that time, he began to fight. Resist arrest and to fight. Officers produced one officer produced his pepper spray and warned him, if you don't stop fighting with us, we're going to spray you. He did not. They ended up spraying him with pepper spray and had little effect. At that point, the same officer took out his taser, there's an arc function. You just show that it makes a little clicking noise when you see the spark, just to show somebody, hey, I've got a taser. And he still did not comply. He ended up tasing him. It's interesting that the reports have been that he tased him twice. He did deploy his taser twice. However, the probes did not. Both probes did not make contact, so that's why it was ineffective. Ultimately, he broke free. When the officers went running down the stairs, he was tackled by an officer. The other officer did, of course, came to assistance. They ultimately got him in handcuffs. Just because there had been taser usage, part of our protocol, we always call EPSA to remove the probes and to check on the person's well-being. He, at that time, asked if he could sit up on the stairs. The officers assisted him, set him up on the stairs. He was treated by EPSA, and EPSA then, while treating him, one of the officers, they turned away to get something out of the kid, and one officer noticed that he was being unresponsive, he was no longer conscious. At that point, EPSA began doing CPR, transported him to the hospital, where later at about almost 9 o'clock, he was pronounced dead. Obviously this is never, we never like to have a confrontation with somebody and have them expire or even be hurt if we can help it. This was a situation where the initial reports from the ME were that his heart was very large and it was likely due to exertion. A family member has told us that he was in St. Francis 2 weeks ago for congestive heart failure. We have no reason at this time, and we're not done looking, but at this time we have no reason to think that this is anything other than a medical issue with Mr. Brooks. And we're still trying to retrieve any video we can find in the area. But this was not on the officers. We don't have our body camera program implemented yet, so we don't have body camera footage. We don't have any car footage. I know there's been a lot of requests. We searched all the car footage. There's nothing of this that took place. Where they were at the hotel, it's really not conducive to where you park your car. But we are looking at the other hotels. So they're not there right now doing that. And we're trying to do everything we can to produce any evidence that would verify what the officer said or not. But I have no doubt these are both officers with no complaint history. And really, really good officers. We've never had an issue with them whatsoever. We have never had a complaint on the use of force issues. So I don't expect that that's going to happen, but we're going to make sure. I'll answer any questions.
With the warrant.
The family said that cops are basically debt collectors with guns and badges. Why do we care about this $600 warrant or whatever?
I would respond to that by saying that's up to our legislators to decide it's not a statutory violation. We don't have a lot of options as police officers when there's a warrant for somebody. We have to issue. We certainly don't get any of the money. We're the police department get any of the money. So we're not debt collectors. We're trying to maintain law and order. The city of Tulsa is part of maintaining law and order, making sure that people pay their fines, people do the things they're supposed to do, and they're found guilty.
You said that this was not the warrant from Okmulgee, and it was a Tulsa warrant. Do you know what that warrant was for?
I don't have misdemeanor. I don't know what it was for.
The attorney said she thought that it transferred from Okmulgee to Tulsa in 2005. Is it possible that that did?
The attorney wrong.
Okay. Is there a way you can find out what that warrant was for?
Probably could. It was issued in 2015. I know that.
So there were some things said earlier today by the attorney who said that the room was rented out that night, it wasn't secure, the warrant wasn't served until Wednesday. Would you like to clear that up at this timeline?
I repeat, the attorney was very wrong. We secured the room immediately. It was searched that night. In fact, the search was over by 11:30. What the attorney probably saw was that the return was brought in on Wednesday, which we have to do obviously by law. No, it was never left unattended. That's not the way we do business.
One of my questions was going to be, why was the warrant not taken care of if it was from 1991 while he was in DOC custody and when he came into contact with police in 14 and 15? But it sounds like if this warrant was issued in 2015, this would have been a fresh misdemeanor warrant.
Relatively fresh, yes. That's correct.
You don't really know why DOC didn't take care of it, David L. Moss didn't take care of it. I mean, all you guys
I don't know that he was in since that time.
No, he hadn't been in since 2001.
She said it's Moss. They didn't take care of it. But that's not up to you guys.
If she's assuming it's the Okmulgee warrant, it's not. We weren't even aware of that until the media told us.
Why was this not put out into the public? You know, that a person died serving a search warrant. You know, a police officer.
Stop. Can I get the facts right? Nobody died serving a search warrant. We got the search warrant later.
I'm sorry. I meant a warrant. I'm sorry. I meant a warrant.
Considered an arrest warrant. Well, first of all, it was a medical issue. It was not as a result of use of force. And if it had been, then this would have been handled. We probably would have done a press release immediately about it. But this was everything from the very get-go. The medical never said this is a medical issue.
But force was used, even if it was a medical issue in the end, because force was used and someone died. Even if they didn't die from force, you feel like that's something that maybe should have been put out in the public?
In hindsight, I probably, after today, I probably would. Yes, sir.
It looks like there's a camera above the door for that room. You guys seen that video?
Yeah, we're trying to get that now. And I'm afraid it only shows the landing. It's not really put somewhere that we can say that we were hoping to get something that shows everything. Most of what happened as far as the tasking, everything went on down the stairs at the ground level. The taser and the pepper spray was used at the near the door. To be a sight, this whole taser and pepper spray thing. Police departments across the nation are looking for intermediate uses of force. If you've never been in a fight where somebody doesn't want to go along or doesn't want to be arrested, you end up using brute force, which is far more damaging than pepper spray and far more damaging than the taser. So it was my decision to equip as many of our officers as possible with tasers. Everything from edge weapons, everything else we can do. It's an alternative to the firearm. And it's also an alternative to using that brute force.
Can you explain a little bit more how the first taser? You said the first deployment, the prongs didn't stick, and so then there's a second cartridge that they can fire.
There is a second cartridge they can fire, and we think it might have got hung up in some clothing too. We never got a good hit on this guy. I wish we had, just because I don't like to see those kind of failures. We wouldn't have to tackle somebody, all those kind of things.
And so, can you speak to, because you didn't get a good stick on him, any idea how many times he actually was zapped once the prongs maybe?
Twice.
He was zapped twice though. Okay.
Or not zapped.
Or not.
There was zap attempts twice. Yes.
Okay.
When should we expect the report from the medical examiner's office? Have you had contact with them?
Talk to the medical examiner's office. I can tell you from my experience, toxology reports can take months, and they don't like to release anything until tox is done. And believe me, I would love to see it this afternoon myself.
So just to clarify, I'm sorry if it's a dead drum here, but so would you say he ever actually got shocked by the taser? If there were two attempts that didn't get a good stick, or maybe he got some voltage?
If someone has one in them, they can feel a shock, but it's not incapacitating at all. And he gave no indication at all that he had been shocked or was affected by it whatsoever.
What about the concerns the family had that he might have been older and maybe the officer shouldn't have used a taser on someone that old? Is there any weight to that? Any water to carry there?
I didn't hear them say that.
They wonder, because he's 64, if maybe there's a recommendation that past a certain age it's not a good idea to tase someone.
Usually won't show you their ID.
Sure, but if he appeared older...
I'm 68. If I came at you and got a taser, would you use it?
That's fair.
We talk about the use of force policy, and at what point during this confrontation the officers were authorized to use force in that manner?
Well, authorized at the very moment someone resists arrest and starts fighting. Obviously, there's a graduated scale all the way up to deadly force in some instances, whether they have a weapon or they use a knife or something that could be deadly to the officer or somebody else.
Was there there wasn't anyone else with him or anything like that? It was just his name on the registry for Saturday night. That was...
What about alternatives to tasing and pepper spray, applying pressure to trigger points, something that would be a possibility, be an alternative? Have you used that?
Wrestling moves type.
Like putting pressure to trigger points that can bring a person to their knees. Has that been considered?
We train in grab fighting very much. But I will tell you that when you're in a real situation, those trigger points are a lot harder to find than you think, and they're not always effective on everybody.
But has that been used and considered?
We train our elves in grab fighting, so that
Okay.
pressure points, yes.
And just for clarification again, it was after the two mostly failed taser uses that he then fled the room and went down the stairs, and then they had to tackle him? Okay.
And I would submit to you that if we used trigger points, somebody would be asking why we didn't use pepper spray or taser.
I hear you, sir. I was asking because I did not know the answer.
We're trying to use the method that's the least permanently injurious, and that's the easiest for the officer to use. When I say easy, I mean simple.